Here to take us through the international press is Florence Villeminot. Hello, Florence.
Hi, Claire.
We're going to start off with reactions to that press conference by François Hollande, his first official one since taking office.
That's right. Well, it got a ton of attention in the French press. It's also getting a lot of attention in the international press, mainly the French-speaking press. For instance, it's on the front page of Le Soir. It says that Hollande, the normal president, wants to appear responsible. And there's the similar idea in the Lebanese press. It says that Hollande positions himself as a responsible president. And there, I don't know if you can make it out, but there's a little drawing of Hollande that's a sailor on a boat. Hollande is setting the course, says L'Orient Le Jour. And actually another paper also uses this image of Hollande as a sailor, and that is Die Welt, the German daily. It likens him to a sailor in the Vendée Globe yacht race. And it says that after 6 months, he claims to have finally found the course, and it's about time because according to Die Welt, 10% of his time in office has expired. Now, Die Welt gives a very detailed account of his press conference yesterday, so much detail that it points out that it started 3 minutes late. I thought that was pretty funny. Hollande now positions himself as a true realist, according to Die Welt, and it points out that his policy, his European policy his reorientation policy of Europe is in stark contrast to that of Angela Merkel, which is one of austerity, but otherwise it's a rather respectful article.
What about the British press? What are they saying?
Well, they're a little bit more critical. There's an article in The Independent that says that this was his chance to relaunch his struggling presidency, to set a new tone. And it points out that as much of the French press pointed out today, he sought to abandon his image as a laid-back, quote, normal president and to define himself as a hands-on, quote, responsible president. But The Independent says despite his new style, new slogans, there are no new policies. He's made no new proposals. And for now, he just seems trapped between his campaign promises and the harsh realities of the economic situation in Europe.
All right, we're going to move on to a different story now, the Petraeus scandal. And as the plot thickens, the papers obviously keep on talking about this.
That's
because
right.
It widens all the time.
It's a real media firestorm in the U.S. So it all started back on Friday when Petraeus resigned as the director of the CIA. Now, he was once upon a time the commander of U.S. troops and NATO troops in Afghanistan, one of the most highly decorated generals in U.S. history, so a real American hero. And he's seen this spectacular fall from grace in recent days. And there's a funny cartoon in the International Herald Tribune that I think sums it up. I guess you could just say that he was caught with his pants down after this affair came out. Now, there's another interesting article regarding the Petraeus scandal in Gulf News, which, because there's been some speculation in the U.S., especially among Republicans, that all this is part of a huge conspiracy theory. Now, these people say that this is an attempt to cover up an investigation on attacks back in September on the U.S. consulate in Benghazi that saw several people killed, including the U.S. ambassador to Libya. Now, Petraeus was due to testify in front of the Senate Intelligence Committee this week. And so according to these conspiracy theorists, all this is just a big plan to hush this up. And they even say that his mistress, Paula Broadwell, was just a honey trap. She was an Obama operative. Now, this article in Gulf News says all this is ridiculous, but it says that Republicans aren't likely to drop this because they want to cause Obama as much political damage as they say. And this article says it's too bad because there was an opportunity for Washington to put aside partisan politics, and all this is just right back on the scene right now.
We're going to stay in the U.S. and briefly take a look at the future of U.S. energy.
That's right. Now, this comes after the International Energy Agency said that by 2020, the U.S. could become the world's first oil producer, so going past Saudi Arabia. And there's a funny article, well, interesting rather, article in the Wall Street Journal that's called Saudi America. And it says that all this is thanks to a fracking revolution that's going on in the United States, a revolution in energy that's allowed the U.S. to increase its production of shale oil. And this article in the Wall Street Journal defends this policy and says that this is the real energy revolution that everybody's been waiting for. It's not all about green energy. It's about this revolution, and that people should really pay attention to it.
It really could affect relations between the U.S. and that part of the world.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you very much, Florence.